Good morning, everyone. I'm Engineer Tang, moderator of this webinar talk, which organized by UED, SIG Division, IEM. So today's talk topic is Construction Delay Analysis Unboxed. And the topic will be presented by our speaker, Engineer Thomas Ong. I would like to give some short introduction about our speaker, Engineer Thomas. Engineer Thomas was graduated from University Technology Malaysia, UTM, in 2001 with bachelor degree in civil engineering, majoring in construction management. He has 20 years industry experience in the working environment of Main Contractor, project delivery partner, and crime consultant. Currently, Engineer Thomas is Senior Delay Analyst Consultant in FTI Consulting. He is specialized in delay analysis, project planning, scheduling, and project management. He also is a professional engineer, professional technologist, associate of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrator, Asian Chartered Professional Engineer, and Malaysia Society for Engineering and Technology, MIEM. So above is a short briefing and introduction to Engineer Thomas. Engineer Thomas, are you ready to start your talk and presentation?
Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
It's a presentation screen. Okay.
And I can see. You can start your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we are. Okay, thank you, Engineer Tang, for the introduction, and welcome everyone to my webinar on the Construction Delay Analysis Unboxed. When I gave my title of my webinar to Engineer Tang, he asked me, what is the meaning of unboxed? And what does the unboxing to do with delay analysis? So I told him, during the pandemic, many of us turned to online shopping for the essential item and to keep ourselves entertained. And what's the best part of the online shopping? Is unboxing your new purchase. It's so exciting that people even post the videos on YouTube of themselves unboxing their new gadget, phones, and other items. So today, instead of discovering what is inside the box, I will unpacking the complexity and the challenges of delay analysis in construction projects. So sit back and get ready to unbox the secrets of the construction delay analysis. So come delay with me. Okay, as a planner, we like to put everything in a Primavera P6 program. So intentionally, I included the outline in the Primavera schedule when I preparing the slides. So what will be covered during the presentation? In this webinar, we will discuss the meaning of delay analysis and the forensic schedule analysis, the type of construction delays. And then we will discuss about the condition precedent for an EOT claim, delay claim for life cycle. In addition, we will delve into the overall of delay analysis methods, which is SCR protocol and ACE recommended practice 29R03. We will also cover the method implementation protocol, MIP, which outline in a ACE recommended practice. Then we have a choice of methodology, requirement of delay analysis method, the power of records, and finally, conclusion and Q&A. Okay. So when you see the chart, don't worry, the webinar will not last until end of June. It will last a maximum of 2 hours. Okay, so come delay with me. What is delay analysis? Delay analysis is analyzing why the delay happened and what is the expected impact of an event. In other words, the purpose of delay analysis is to identify and to assess the cause and the effect of project delay. What is a forensic schedule analysis? First, according to ACPE International Recommended Practice 29R03, forensic schedule analysis refer to the study and investigation of events using CPM calculation methods for potential use in a legal proceedings. It's a study of how actual events interacted in the context of complex model for the purpose of understanding the significance of the specific deviation from some baseline model and their role in determining the sequence of tasks within the complex network. It's both a science and an art. As such, it relies upon professional judgment and expert opinion and usually requires many subjective decisions. Whenever there is a project, there are delays. These delays are very frequent in construction projects. There are a lot of things happening in construction projects. No one is able to foresee everything. Delay happen. However, what is in your hand, you can manage and mitigate the delay. Now let's understand different types of delays. Delays can be classified in the following types: excusable and non-excusable delays, compensable and non-compensable delays, critical and non-critical delay, concurrent and non-concurrent delays, finally, pacing delays. What is excusable delay? An excusable delay is a delay which is justifiable, which is reasonably unforeseen, and which is not in the control of the contractor. Example for this type of delays can be force majeure, civil commotion, strike, lockout, and so on. Changes due to law, rules, or regulations by the regulatory authorities. Errors or omissions in drawings, specifications, or other technical documents. Changes in scope initiated by the owner. Unforeseeable site conditions. These are all excusable delay. Non-excusable delay is a delay which is not justifiable, which is foreseeable, and which is in the control of the contractor. Example for this type of delay can be failure to award subcontracts, late materials ordering and delivery, lack of manpower, slow production, delay due to poor project management practices, delay due to poor performance or not meeting the specifications. Excusable delay are further classified into compensable delay and non-compensable delay. Okay, excusable delay. Compensable delay is an excusable delay in which there is a compensable of time and cost. Compensable delay are usually caused by owner, and the contractor is compensated for this delay. Example for this type of delay are changes initiated by the owner, incomplete drawings, or errors in plans or specifications, delay site handover for construction, delay responses to the submitters' approvals. Okay, now we move on to non-compensable delay. It's an excusable delay in which there is no compensation of cost. However, EOT applicable in the contract. These delays are usually not in the control of owner and contractor. Example for this type of delays are labor strikes is not in the control of the management. Natural disaster like earthquake, floods, fire, and all the categories under the force majeure. Changes due to law, rules, or regulations by regulatory authorities. Unforeseeable site conditions. Delay can be critical and non-critical. Critical delays are delays that affect the project completion date and involve activities on the critical path. Non-critical delays do not affect the critical path and have some float time that can be absorbed without delay the project's completion date. Technical CPM concept supported by the case law. The claimant must show delays in the critical path that force late completion of contractual milestone to prevail on a critical path delay claim. It's important to assess whether a delay is critical or not. Let's see an example. In this sample project, ACPE is critical path. Any delay in the critical path will affect the project completion date. Okay, now let's say a delay of 1 day in activity B. This will delay the overall project by 1 day. Activity B is a critical activity. For this 1 day delay is a critical delay. Let's say a delay of 4 days in activity H. This delay has no effect on the critical path and therefore is a non-critical delay. However, if this activity is delayed by 1 more day, the overall completion will delay and the critical path will change to FGHE. Therefore, this 1 day delay is a critical delay. From this example, critical path can change during the progress. Therefore, it's important to monitor the critical path closely and take any corrective action if any delays occur to ensure the project is completed on time. As we can see that the critical path initially from ABDE now changed to FGHE. Okay, there are 2 other types of delay, which is concurrent and non-concurrent delays. Let's look at SCL, Society of Construction Law Protocol definition on concurrent delay. Okay, true concurrent delay is an occurrence of 2 or more delay events at the same time. One an employer risk event, the other a contractor risk event, and the effects of which are felt at the same time. For concurrent delay to exist, each of the employer risk event and the contractor risk event must be an effective cause of delay to completion. The delay must both affect the critical path. Where contractor delay to completion occurs or has an effect concurrently with employer delay to completion, the contractor's concurrent delay should not reduce any EOT due. This is a definition from SCL Delay and Disruption Protocol. Now we look at this example. Case number 1, first case. Owner delay is concurrent with another owner delay. In this example, as shown in this example. So in this case, the delay is excusable, compensable to contractor, but non-excusable to the owner. In the second case, owner delay is concurrent with a contractor delay, as shown in this example. In this case, the delay is excusable but non-compensable to both parties. This means that the contractor cannot claim any cost, but EOT may be granted to the contractor if the contract allows. In the third case, owner delay is concurrent with a force majeure delay, as shown in this example. In this case, the delay is excusable but non-compensable to both parties. Okay, now we move on to fourth case. contractor delay is concurrent with another contractor delay, as shown in this example. In this case, the delay is non-excusable to contractor, excusable, compensable to owner. In the fifth case, contractor delay is concurrent with a force majeure delay, as shown in this example. In this case, the delay is excusable but non-compensable to both parties. Okay, in the sixth case, force majeure delay is concurrent with another force majeure delay, as shown in this example. In this case, the delay is excusable but non-compensable to both parties. Okay. This is a summary table related to my previous slide. Okay, try to understand this table or spend some time to understand this table. The source is from ACPE recommended practice 29R03. It's not created by me. It's from the recommended practice. Now we come to pacing delay. When concurrent culpable delays are identified by the employer, contractors often argue that they are simply pacing the works against pre-existing employer cost delays. Likewise, when the consultants are late with information and shop drawings approvals, they often argue that the works were already delayed and their late response caused no further delay to the works. If either a contractor or an employer's professional team seeks to rely on this argument, then the following should be demonstrated by the relevant party. Knowledge of the more critical excusable delay, or we call it the parent delay. Evidence of an express decision to pace its works. A notification to the employer or the contractor that their work would be paced to avoid further delay or disruption. The ability to resume normal productivity if the pre-existing delay was mitigated. In the following discussion, we will cover some important ground rules pertaining to condition precedent for the EOT claim. Okay, any of the relevant events must have resulted in an actual delay in completion. The contractor must give notice to the CA, contract administrator, in accordance with the provisions and the time limits required. The standard form of contract may require the contractor to give notice within a stipulated time if he wants to be successful in obtaining an EOT. So in PEng clause 23.1, it said that if the contractors believe the completion of the works is or will be delayed, he is to give a written notice of his intention to claim for such an extension within 28 days of the relevant event. Okay, in CIPP clause 24.2, the contractor is required to give the notice within 30 days of the occurrence of the event. In PWD clause 43.1, the contractor is to immediately give written notice. It doesn't specify the number of days. It just says immediately. So in FITIC clause 20.2, the contractor is required to give a notice not later than 28 days. I have seen some of the customized contract that require the contractor to give notice within like 1 week, or in some cases even within 3 days. So before, if you are the contractor, before sign out any work, you should read the contract document carefully. The written notice must provide the particulars of the delay. For example, you need to include the cause of the delay any associated relevant event, the estimated days of delay, and your mitigation measures. If it is not practicable to provide all the detail in the notice, it must be provided to the CA as soon as possible after the submission of the notice. A lot of people ask, can the condition precedent be waived? Now we look at this example. In the case of KL Eco City versus Tuxing Engineering, the High Court made a decision. Letter sent by employer seeking to impose liquidated damages on the contractor, taking into account the EOT already granted by the architect as a CA under PEng contract. Argument that the employer must be deemed to have waived the non-fulfillment of the condition precedent with regard to the EOT granted by the architect. The High Court held that the architect has no authority to waive the condition precedent requirements in the EOT contractual provision under the clause 23.1 of the PEng contract on behalf of the employer, unless expressly allowed or conferred with the actual authority. EOT granted and certified by the architect was held to be invalid and not binding upon the employer, as there was no evidence of acceptance by the employer. CA has no power and authority to waive the condition precedent in EOT contractual provision unless allowed by the contract or employer has accepted the EOT granted by the CA. Okay, as outlined by PJ King and AF Kaleka on the page 9 of their book, Delay Analysis in Construction Contract. Every delay claim has its own life cycle, which consists of the following steps. First, the baseline program is prepared at the beginning of the project. Then, as the project progresses, any deviations from the baseline program are identified. When the delay occurs, it is discovered and analyzed to determine the cost and the impact it has on the project. Delay analysis is carried out. Next, a delay claim is submitted and presented to the relevant parties, who will then respond to the claim. Negotiations may then take place to try to reach an agreement on how to resolve the delay claim. If an agreement is reached, a revised baseline program is established and agreed upon. However, if an agreement cannot be reached, dispute resolution procedures may be necessary. So finally, once the claim is resolved, the delay claim resolution process can begin. Today, we are going to be discussing the different methodologies for delay analysis that are used in the construction contract. Two prominent guides in this area are the American Association of Cost Engineering, or known as ACPE, International Recommended Practice 29R003, Forensic Schedule Analysis, and the Society of Construction Law Delay and Disruption Protocol. In the ACPE recommended practice, this forensic schedule analysis has identified 9 methodologies in 4 families. While in Society of Construction Law, Delay and Disruption Protocol has identified 6 methodologies. This is an overview of Society of Construction Law Delay and Disruption Protocol 2017. In this SCL protocol, there are 6 commonly used methods of delay analysis, as shown in this table. For example, impacted explain analysis, type impact analysis, or also known as TIA, time slide window analysis, as planned versus as built window analysis, retrospective longest path analysis, collapse as built analysis. The analysis type can be conducted using cause and effect or effect and cause. Cause and effect analysis is a process of identifying the cause of the delay first, and thereafter determining its impact, the effect on the program. In simplified words, we start by finding the cause of the delay, and then look at its effect on the program. Example for this cause and effect is like impacted as planned, time impact analysis. Effect and cause analysis is a process of identifying critical delay and effect on the program first, and thereafter determining what is the cause of those delays. In simplified words, we start by identifying the effect of the delay, and then we try to figure out what is the cause of this delay. Okay, critical path is determined by in one of the three different ways. Prospective assessment only look at the beginning of the project and doesn't consider any progress that is made. The contemporaneous assessment look at the progress as the project goes on and take into account any changes in the logic. Retrospective assessment look at the end of the project. So delay impact determined in one of two different ways. A prospective delay analysis identify likely impact of a delay event on the completion date, while the retrospective delay analysis identify the actual impact of the delay event on the completion date. In simplified words, prospective analysis is a looking forward analysis, and retrospective analysis is a looking backward. The SYNOPSIS protocol also lists the document required for each method of analysis. For example, the document required for the impacted explain analysis include logic link baseline program and a selection of delay events to be modeled. And for time impact analysis, the document required include logic link baseline program, update programs, and a selection of delay events to be modeled. The content of SYNOPSIS protocol also include the core principles of EOT claims. So I encourage you to read and familiar with them. Okay, this figure provides an overview of the taxonomy of forensic schedule analysis as outlined in ACE recommended practice. This taxonomy identifies 9 method implementation protocol, we call it MIP, which are summarized in this figure. This is the same figure from the taxonomy of forensic schedule analysis, ACE recommended practice. Okay, going from top to the bottom, this table demonstrates how the MIP are organized. Starting from the first layer, the timing of delays. Either it's a prospective and retrospective. In this case, under the forensic schedule analysis, it's all under the retrospective. Then the second layer, the basic method, identifying whether the delays are analyzed observationally or in a modern manner. The third layer differentiates between the static logic, dynamic logic, additive, and subtractive. The fourth and fifth layer delve into further detail on how you can implement these methods. Don't worry about the term, this is just an overview. We are going to individual method detail in the later slide. Okay, defining the methodology option. Just how I mentioned, there's 5 layers. The first layer, timing. Second layer, basic methods. Third layer, specific methods. Fourth layer, basic implementation for each method. The fifth layer, specific implementation for each method. Options called MIP, or Method Implementation Protocols. So in SCL protocol, what we use to call the delay analysis technique like impacted as planned, or TIA, or window analysis, in ASCE recommended practice, we call it as MIP. We look at the timing first. We have a prospective analysis and retrospective analysis. Prospective analysis are performed in real time prior to the delay event, or in real time contemporaneous with the delay event. In all cases, prospective analysis consists of analysts' best estimate of future events. Prospective analysis occurs while the project is still underway and may not evolve into a forensic context. In the retrospective analysis are performed after the delay event has occurred and the impact are known. The timing may be soon after the delay event, but prior to the completion of the overall project, or after the completion of the entire project. Note that forward-looking analysis, such as additive modeling, performed after the project completion are still retrospective in terms of timing. The next layer is a basic method. Either it's an observational or model. In the observational method, we use the existing schedules to identify critical path slippage due to delays. Analyze schedule to determine what activities cause the delays. The schedule information identifies the delay. Okay, observational technique typically take whatever you have and you use them. In the model technique, means you have to do something. You have to add the flatnet or delay event to the schedule, and you will use those in your modeling, in your analysis. Require the recalculation in the schedule. But for the observational, it relies on the existing schedule. Okay, in model technique, you need to research documents, identify delays from interview and research. Model identify delays in the schedule. The analyst identify the delays. As I mentioned earlier, model technique means you have to do something. You have to add flatnet to the schedule, and you use those in your modeling in analysis. It requires recalculation or F9 in the Primavera. Layer 3 is a specific method, basically observational methodology split into static logic and dynamic logic. In a static logic is a comparison of an execute schedule to just one set of the explained network. In the dynamic logic is use a multiple of the schedule updates or updated program that experience the logic changes during the project. Compare a series of update schedule with a series of execute schedules. In simplified word, in the static logic, we only use one set of baseline program for your comparison. While in the dynamic logic, you use a contemporaneous update. You use your updated program for your comparison. Under the static logic, there is a growth and a periodic mode. Growth mode considers the entire project duration as one whole analysis period without segmentation or without the window. In a predictive mode, we break the project duration into 2 or more segments or windows for specific analysis. It's still static logic. Segmented analysis periods do not have any changes in logic because it's just one set of schedule is used. Still under layer 4, under the dynamic logic, there are 3 MIP: contemporaneous, as is, contemporaneous split, modified or recreated. Okay, contemporaneous as is. Use schedule updates to compare between the updates. In the contemporaneous split, we create a bifurcated update to separate progress only from the revisions such as logic changes. In modified or recreated, involve modification or recreation of missing updates. So if you have a missing the update for particular month, we can the missing updates based on the existing SBIOD data. Okay, level 5 is called specific implementation. Within this layer, there are fixed period and variable windows. Fixed period is a period set by the database of existing schedule updates. Variable periods establishes other periods than existing schedule updates. In a variable period, you don't have 2 weeks of update. You can recreate the 2 weeks updates, but you need to justify why you want to recreate the update. Variable period always subject to challenge. Within the contemporaneous updates, there are all periods and group periods. All periods is fixed or variable periods. Group period is groups existing schedule updates into fewer periods. Okay, now we look at the observational. As we look at the observational methods, the first method shown out in ASCE recommended practice is MIP 3.1, static growth. Explain versus SBIOD single base. The second MIP 3.2, static periodic. In the ACIArb protocol, it is known as explain versus SBIOD window analysis. MIP 3.3, dynamic contemporaneous as is or contemporaneous period. MIP 3.4, dynamic contemporaneous split or bifurcated contemporaneous period. 3.5, dynamic contemporaneous recreated, or we call it contemporaneous period recreated. All these 3, MIP 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5, are called time-slide window analysis according to ACIArb protocol. There is all define all the observational methods. Okay, this is just a revision. Observational methods use CPN schedules without recalculating dates. You use whatever schedule you have for the comparison for the analysis. No logic changes are made. No activities are added or deleted. Less action taken that can be challenged as highly subjective. Now we go to the individual method. I will show you the example how to implement these methods. The first one, MIP 3.1, static growth. We call it explain versus SBIOD single base. MIP 3.1 is an observational technique that compares the explain schedule to the SBIOD schedule. It's applicable only to simple projects, short in duration with a critical path that is unlikely to shift. Because you are not using the contemporaneous update, you're just using SBIOD schedule, the critical path already fixed. That's why it's unlikely to shift. easy to understand, inexpensive to create. Not suitable for complicated projects because the project changed and the measuring point does not. Determine the attribute critical path may be subjective. It's because the attribute critical path cannot directly be generated by the programming software. That's why determining the attribute critical path requires manual effort, and that's why it can be subjective. The MIP 3.1 is a cause and effect analysis, which means we identify the effect delay on the program and thereafter determining what is the cause of those delays. Okay, let's take a look at this sample bar chart for MIP 3.1, which compare as planned versus as built schedule. As you can see, by comparing the plan and the actual duration for each activity, we can identify which activities were responsible for the delays and quantify the impact of those delays to the overall project completion. In this example, we can identify delay completion, delay finish for the first activity, the extended duration for the third activity, and the delay start for the last activity, and the overall project delay. This is effect and cause analysis, which means we identify the effect of delay on the program and thereafter determining what is the cause of those delays. It requires research and investigation into documents and also project team interview to identify what is the reason for that delay. In this particular delay analysis method, MIP 3.1, we use minimum implementation protocols recommended by ACE recommended practice. Okay, the first step, identify baseline or as planned schedule. Comparison progresses from earlier to the later dates. Identify delay starts, extended duration, delay finish. Expert judgment is required to identify the attribute critical path. As I mentioned earlier, attribute critical path cannot be directly generated by the programming software. It requires manual effort. Analysis will become less accurate as it advances. Evaluation of extended durations affecting late finish dates help establish cause of critical path delays. Take into account of EOT granted. It's because the attribute schedule already absorbed all the extended duration or EOT that have been granted into the schedule. Okay, now we take a look in this example. First, we identify as planned or baseline schedule. Compare the as planned versus as built schedule. Green color bar represent the as planned or the baseline, while the blue bar represent as built schedule. Comparing the plan and the actual durations for each activity, and we identify which activities were responsible for the critical delay. So we identify the delay event and the period as shown in this yellow bar. And thereafter, we research the cause of the delay. We look at the documents to research the cause of this delay. Why this delay happened here? Okay, last, quantify the impact of those delays on the completion, overall completion. Okay, now you understand MIP 3.1. We can move on to discuss other methods of delay analysis. Like MIP 3.1, 3.2 is also an observational technique that compares the baseline schedule to as-built schedule. But this method analyzes the project in multiple segments or windows. Applicable only to simple projects, short in duration with a critical path that's unlikely to shift. Actually, it's same with 3.1, only except the delay is analyzed in different windows. So easy to understand, inexpensive to create. Not suitable for complicated projects. Accuracy not better than 3.1 because single explain schedule is used. Generally will be shown inferior to the dynamic windows methodology in MIP 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5. Determine the SBuild critical path may be subjective. Okay, let's take a look at this sample bar chart for MIP 3.1, which compare explain versus SBuild schedule. So instead of looking at the entire project as a whole, this type of analysis break the project into different periods or different windows. In this sample, the project divided into 3 periods. Period 1, period 2, and period 3. It's the same process, but we analyze the delays occur during that time period only. Then the process is repeated period by period or window by window. It's an effect and cost analysis, which means we identify the effect of delay on the program and thereafter determining what is the cost of those delays. It also requires research and investigation into the documents and project, and also project team interview. Okay, in this particular delay analysis method, MIP 3.2, we use minimum implementation protocols recommended by ACPE. The first step, identify baseline or explain schedule. Then we compare progress from the earliest to the later dates. Identify delay start, extended duration, delay finish. Expert judgment is required to identify the SBuild critical path. Analysis will become less accurate as it advances. Evaluation of extended durations affecting late finish dates helps establish cause of critical path delays. Take into account EOT granted. Results are summed at the end of each type analysis period. Similar with 3.1, this MIP 3.2 breaks the project down into different periods or different windows. By compare the planned and actual duration, we can identify delay events and to analyze the delay for each windows. The accuracy is not better than 3.1 because single explain schedule is used, but we only analyze it in different windows. Okay, next, we look at the strengths and the consideration of using MIP 3.1 and 3.2. It's suitable for projects with short duration, with a minimal logic changes, easy to understand and presented. It's simple to implement and can be performed with very basic schedule and SBuild information. Considerations include not suitable for projects with long durations, not suitable for projects built significantly different than planned, not suitable for complex projects, generally does not consider critical path shift because it doesn't require the updated program or contemporaneous updates. So it doesn't take into account of the dynamic changes of the critical path. Okay, now we look at MIP 3.3, dynamic contemporaneous as is. MIP 3.1 and 3.2 are static in the sense that they do not track the changes of critical path. In MIP 3.3, on the other hand, use a project schedule updates to quantify the delay along the critical path and to identify the activities responsible for the critical delay. is applicable on complicated projects. Use contemporaneous updates, whose logic may change. Consider a dynamic logic method. Does not involve the insertion or deletion of delays. Observe the schedule variances from update to update. In ACIArb protocol, it is known as time slide windows analysis. Okay, simply describe. These methods divide the project period of performance into multiple windows. We use a schedule update. We use a schedule update to analyze the project delays within each window. By dividing the project into smaller periods, it's easier to identify which delays occur during each period and to determine their impact on the overall project completion. I will give an example on my later slide. Okay, in this particular delay analysis method, MIP 3.3, we use a minimum implementation protocols recommended by ASCE. The first step, identify the critical and near critical path activity. Determine whether the evaluation will be done on all periods or group periods. Every update may not be used. However, every update should be considered. Compare the update at the start of the analysis period to the update at the end of the analysis period. Use longest path and the least float criteria to identify controlling chain of activities. Identify changes in overall project completion date or interim milestone completion date. Continue with implementation until all periods are complete. Sum the net gains and losses for each period to arrive at an overall impact to the project. Okay, now we look at this example. First, we identify critical path activity and near critical activities in baseline schedule. We determine the window period number 1. We compare the schedule update number 1. The yellow bar is a baseline schedule. The blue is the actual, and the green bar is a remaining work. It's taken from the update schedule number 1, and this is the data date. This is an as-built portion, and this is a as-planned portion remaining work to the right of the data date. So identifying the critical delay and determine the cause of the delay. In this example, we have identified critical delay in the first phase work activity. And to determine its cause, we need to conduct the research and investigation into all the documents, including correspondence, site diary, weekly report, or monthly reports, to identify the reason for this delay. The process is repeated for the next windows. Now we determine the window number 2. Compare the schedule update number 2, identify critical delay, and to determine the cause of the delay. In this example, we have identified the critical delay in second phase work. So when we do further investigation, the delay driver is a predecessor for this activity. There is this one, first phase work. This is a delay driver for the second phase work delay. And to determine its cause, we conduct the research investigation into the documents, including correspondence, site diary, or weekly or monthly reports. So the process is repeated for the next window. Now we determine the window number 3. Compare the schedule update number 3, identify critical delay, and to determine the cause of the delay. In this example, we have identified a critical delay in the second phase work. When we do further investigation, the delay driver is a predecessor for this activity, is a first phase work for level 15 and level 16. To determine its cause, we conduct the research, same process, investigation into the documents, into correspondence, site diary, or any AI or EI or VO works. So the process is repeated for the next window. Now we come to determine window number 4. We compare the schedule update number 4, identify critical delay, and to determine the cause of the delay. In this example, we observe that in window 4, there was no additional delay compared to window 3. This could be attributed to the mitigation measure implemented by the contractor. As we can see in the schedule, they're sequencing the second phase work activity to run concurrently. We continue to determine the window number 5. Compare the schedule update number 5, identify critical delay, and determine the cause of delay. In this example, there is no further delay in window 5. Continue to window 6. Compare the schedule update number 6. We identify critical delay and to determine the cause of the delay. In this example, second phase work and VO work, okay, this is a VO work, are the driver of the critical delay. Same process, we do the research, investigation into documents, including all the correspondence, site diary, or whatever reports. So finally, we sum out the net entitlement delay for each window to arrive at an overall impact to the project completion. Now you understand MIP 3.3. We can move on to discuss other methods of delay analysis. Now we move on to MIP 3.4, dynamic contemporaneous split. Applicable on complicated projects, use contemporaneous update. If done manually, then it's a window analysis. The split separates logic change from actual progress. In SCL protocol, it's called time-slide window analysis. It's similar to 3.3, but only the implementation part is different. So MIP 3.4 is very useful because it shows how the work performance occur against the original plan. You take the first update and you capture only the actual performance from the first update. And then you import those actual performance data into a copy of the baseline schedule. Then you advance the data date of that copy to match the first update and recalculate the schedule. So it's very good insight to show what happened to the baseline if there is no logic changes during the updates. If because the planner may manipulate or change the calendar, or to change the logic, manipulate the logic, or change the relationship or activities. If there is manipulation of the logic, so you need to use MIP 3.4. The implementation part, same with MIP 3.3. Now we come to MIP 3.5. It's very similar to MIP 3.3 and 3.4, but allows for modification or recreation of the schedule updates. Usually implemented when the contemporaneous updates are not available. It's the same, applicable on complicated projects. Use recreated updates. If done manually, then it's a window analysis. ACIArb protocol is called time slide window analysis. MIP 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5 are very similar in execution. The primary differences are based on whether the logic changes exist between the updates. If there is a logic change, if there is no logic change, MIP 3.3 is the technique. If there is a manipulation of the logic, so MIP 3.4 is the technique. If there is a missing updates, you may use MIP 3.5 to recreate the updates. Okay, next, we'll be discussing the strengths and consideration of using MIP 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5. It's widely accepted in method in mediations, arbitration, and other legal proceedings. It relies on contemporaneous updates, familiar to the parties, account for dynamic of evolving events and conditions, account for shift in the critical path. Delays or gains can be assigned to specific activities. The considerations include cannot be implemented if the contemporaneous schedule updates are not available. If not available, you can use a 3.5 to recreate the update, provided you have all the information. So may not be able to implement it if the schedule updates are unreliable. May not be able to implement it if execute information is unreliable. Preparation process can be time and cost intensive. Okay. Before we move on to model method, I think we have been engaging in our webinar for some time now, and I believe it's a good moment to take a short break before moving to the next topic. So now I will pass to our moderator, Engineer Tang, for further instruction.
Okay, so we can take a 5-minute short break. We will continue the talk after 5 minutes from now. Thank you.
Okay, since just now I mentioned about the observational method, there's one question by the audience. Which observational method widely used in Malaysia? Okay. Let me show you first. Okay, for observational method, if for the arbitration proceedings or any other formal dispute resolution, time slide window analysis is preferred. Generally, they are accepted for this method, time slide window analysis. Or this method, MIP 3.3. For explained dispute like MIP 3.1 and 3.2 is normally used for the simple project. Okay. Okay, now we move on to model method. On the model side, there is additive type of modeling and subtractive type of model. Okay, in the additive modeling, you need to develop a flat net or the sub-activities, sub-network to model the delay. So it means you need to insert the flat net into the schedule and you link it to the impacted activities. Then you need to recompute the schedule F9, or we call it F9 in Primavera, and you'll note any changes in the project completion date and determine the amount of project delay. For the subtractive modeling, you develop a model of execute schedule. So you identify the owner cost delay or contractor cost delay. So you interpret the result by removing the delays from the as-built schedule. Within the additive and subtractive modeling, there are single base and multi-base. In the single base, it means delays added or subtracted from a single CPN schedule. In multi-base, delay added or subtracted from multiple CPN schedule. Multiple CPN schedule means we use revised program or updated program. Under the single base simulation, there are two ways to insert or remove the delay event. Global insertion. All delay events are added or subtracted at one time. In step insertion, delay events are added or subtracted sequentially. Okay, under the multi-base, there's fixed period and variable period. Fixed period is a period set by data dates of existing schedule updates. Variable periods establish other periods than existing periods updates. There are four model methods recommended by the ACPE. These methods are categorized based on how they analyze delays in relation to the project baseline schedule. So in MIP 3.6, additive single base embedded as planned. This is widely used and very popular in Malaysia because it's very simple to implement. MIP 3.7 additive multi-base, or we call it retrospective TIA, retrospective time impact analysis. MIP 3.8 subtractive single simulation collapse, or we call it collapse as-built. MIP 3.9 subtractive multiple simulation periodic collapse as-built. Okay, without delay, we now look at the MIP 3.6 additive single base. Okay, in SCL protocol, it's called embedded as planned. Okay, MIP 2.6 measures the impact of the delays by adding new activities or flatnet into as planned schedule and link it to the impacted activities. Then you recalculate or recompute the schedule F9 in Primavera to note a change in the project completion date. The amount of delay equals to the difference in the completion date between the schedule before and after the impact. Okay, accuracy very depends on inclusiveness of flatnets, accuracy of as-planned schedule, unchanged critical path. Easy to understand, suitable for small projects where the parties want quick settlement. Is theoretical analysis which does not take into account of actual progress on site. Difficult to analyze and allocate liability for concurrent delays. This cause and effect analysis means we identifying the cause of the delay first and thereafter determining the impact on the program. Okay, now we look at this example. We have a baseline schedule on the top. We insert a flatnet or delay event into the baseline and link it to the impacted activities. So we recompute the schedule or F9 in Primavera and determine the amount of the project delay. These are impacted as planned. In this example, we have delay start of laying pipe. In this particular delay analysis method, MIP 3.6, we use minimum implementation protocols recommended by ACPE. The first step, identify and quantify delays that are to be evaluated. Select the planned network to be utilized as unimpacted schedule. Insert an activity or flatnet into unimpacted schedule to represent the selected delay. Ensure the impacted schedule has one continuous longest path to the finish milestone. Compare project completion date of unimpacted to impacted schedule. Normally, I use before impact and after impact schedule. Use longest path and least fruit criteria. Least fruit critical path criteria to identify controlling chain of activities. Quantify net delays and gains. Okay. In the specific implementation enhancement, insertion of FlatNet can be global, which means all delays can be added at once. Steps, delay added individually or in groups. Prefer to add chronologically. In order to demonstrate how to insert FlatNet in steps or individually and chronologically, we will use this sample baseline schedule and show you how to insert FlatNet into the schedule. First, we insert the FlatNet for the delay event number 1 into the baseline and link it to the impacted activity. In this example, the delay event number 1, there is an additional quantity for ball piling works. So we identify the period and then we link it to the impacted activities. Then we recompute the schedule and we take a note of any changes in the project completion date. Next, we will repeat the same process. We insert the FlatNet of the delay event number 2 into the baseline and link it to the impacted activity. Then we recompute the schedule and note the change in the project completion date. This becomes a cumulative delay because this cumulative delay includes the delay event number 1 and delay event number 2. Okay, same process. We insert the FlatNet of delay event number 3 into the baseline and link it to the impacted activity. Then we recompute the schedule and note the change in the project completion date. That is how you implement MIP 3.6 impacted as planned. You insert the FlatNet in steps individually. And then finally, you prepare a table and to summarize the incremental delay and the net delay for each delay event you insert. Okay, next we'll be discussing the strengths and consideration of using MIP 3.6. More suitable for identifying and quantifying potential delays. Generally does not account for concurrent or pacing delays. Easy to understand and prepare, does not require an as-built schedule or contemporaneous schedule updates. Because you use is a single base, you use only one baseline program to do your modeling. What is the considerations? Generally seen as an hypothetical model, susceptible to unintended or intended manipulation due to modeling. Because if you, as a contractor, you won't want to model your own delay into your baseline program. You will share model your employer delays or the consultant delays into your baseline program. That's why it says it's susceptible to unintended or intended manipulation due to modeling. It does not account for changes in logic or duration of activities. Because baseline program is used, it doesn't use a contemporaneous schedule update. That's why it does not account for changes in logic or durations of activities. It also does not take account into the critical path change and does not necessarily consider chronological order of delays, sensitive to the order of FlatNet and logic insertion. For this impacted explain, it's widely rejected in a formal dispute resolution. So we should never use this method except in the negotiation or of a simple project, because the concurrency is not addressed. MIP 3.7 measures the impact of the delays by adding new activities or FlatNet into updated programs prior the day before the delay occurred. Then you link it to an impacted activity, recompute the schedule to note a change in the project completion date. The amount of delay equal to the difference in the project completion date between the schedule before and after impact. Then this step is repeated for the next windows. Okay, same with MIP 3.6. Accuracy dependent on inclusiveness of the FlatNet and accuracy of the updates. The such a document is wider. Contemporaneous update schedule is required, associated with actual events. Easy to understand. Difficult analysis and challenging to carry out on complex programs. Process is repeated update to update, and the total requested delay is a sum of each period. If the total number of requested delays exceed the actual number of days of delays, the difference is often called mitigation or acceleration. Okay, in this particular delay analysis method, MIP 3.7, we use minimum implementation protocols recommended by the ACPE. The first step, identify and quantify delays that are to be evaluated. Select the contemporaneous update prior to the initial delay days to be evaluated to be utilized as an unimpacted schedule. Then you insert an activity or FlatNet into unimpacted schedule to represent the selected delay. Ensure impacted schedule has one continuous longest path to finish milestone. Use longest path and a list fruit criteria path criteria to identify controlling chain of activities. Need a new analysis period for each significant change in the critical path and with each update. Which means if you have a revised program after half a year or after 1 year, then you need to start the new windows based on the new revised program. Quantify net delays and gain. Prepare a table summarizing variances quantified for each analysis period. Okay, there is a specific implementation enhancement. Analysis period can be fixed period, same as update periods, or variable periods, varying duration chosen by work, delays, events, or changes. Insertion of FlatNet can be global, which means you insert all the delays at once, or step delay added individually. Prefer to add chronologically. Okay, to demonstrate how to implement MIP 3.7 retrospective TIA. We'll be using this sample project as an example. Okay, the first step, we will use the baseline program, or we call it unimpacted as window number 1. It's important to note that if your delay event occurs at the beginning of the project, the baseline program is used for delay impacting. This is a baseline program unimpacted, or I call it before impact. We will insert the FlatNet of the delay event into the window 1 baseline and link it to the impacted activity. Then we recompute the schedule F9 in Primavera. This becomes window 1 impacted program, or window 1 after impact. And we take a note of any changes in the project completion date. Okay, next, we use updated program number 1 as window 2, unimpacted program. Then we will insert the FlatNet. We will insert the FlatNet of the delay event into window 2 and link it to the embedded activity. Then we recompute the schedule F9 in Primavera. This become window 2 embedded program. And we take a note of any changes in the project completion date. Next, we use a updated program number 2 as a window 3, an embedded program. We will now insert the fragment of the delay event. We insert it into the window number 3 and link it to the embedded activity. Then we recompute the schedule F9 in Primavera. This become window 3 embedded program. Then we take a note of any changes in the project completion date. In this example, there is no further delay in window 3. The process is repeated for the next window. And then finally, we will prepare a table to tabulate the net entitlement of excusable delay in each window and sum out the total amount. Okay, next, we'll be discussing the strengths and consideration using MIP 3.7. Consider the chronological order of delays better than MIP 3.6. It's because 3.7 use contemporaneous update, while the MIP 3.6 only use a single baseline schedule for the comparison. Consider changes to the critical path. Require contemporaneous schedule updates. Does not require final execute schedule. Can be used to identify and quantify acceleration. Considerations. It is hypothetical model. However, compared to MIP 3.6, the periodic nature of analysis incorporates execute data. It's still susceptible to unintended or intended manipulation due to modeling, because you won't want to insert your own delay into your modeling. It's labor intensive due to additional source of schedules and technical complexity. Is sensitive to the order of fragment and logic insertion. Okay, now we move on to MIP 3.8, subtractive single simulation, or we call it collapse execute. According to ACIArb protocol, this method is referred to collapse execute. Okay, both MIP 3.6 and 3.8, both MIP 3.6 and 3.7 add activities to the baseline or updated schedule and compare the outcome before and after impact. On the other hand, this MIP 3.8 instead remove the delay activities from the execute schedule. Accuracy dependent on creation of after the fact logic. Easy to understand. Use actual events. Analysis can be carried out even if the baseline program is not available. Difficult to carry out on complex programs. Additional logical links will have to be introduced, and this can be manipulated, and an analysis could be subjective. Okay, this figure shows that but for an owner cost delay to the start of the pipe laying, the backfilling work would have completed earlier. So you created the execute schedule model, you identify the period of delay events, then you remove the delay event from the schedule, then you get your entitlement. I will show you the example. In this particular delay analysis method, MIP 3.8, we use minimum implementation protocols recommended by ASCE. The first step, the execute schedule model from which the delays are extracted is CPM logic driven. Each change made to the SBuild schedule model to create the collapse SBuild collapse schedule is tabulated and justified. The SBuild schedule model should contain critical path and longest path, all contractual milestone, delay event activities, and EOT granted. The collapsing process should not involve any adjustment to logic unless such adjustment is tabulated and explained. Okay, first step, we build the SBuild schedule model with a CPM logic driven. Second, we identify delay event and their delay period. As highlighted in the yellow, is identified there is a delay period here. Okay. Now we remove the delay. We subtract or remove the delay here. Remove the delay. Okay. We compare the project completion date before and after remove the delay to determine your claim period. Let me show you again. This is SBuild schedule model with CPM, is a logic driven. Then we need to identify the delay event based on your research or the document, your investigation on the project. Okay, and the delay period. So now we remove the delay period one by one. Remove the delay period. We have an entitlement for 6 days. Remove these two. We have an entitlement for 60 days. Okay. Specific implementation enhancement. Extraction modes or removal modes can be global. All delays extracted at once. Steps, delays extracted individually or in groups. Okay, now we end the MIP 3.8. Now we move on to MIP 3.9. Subtractive multiple simulation is rarely used. Accuracy still depends on creation of after the fact logic. Extract delays back period by period, use actual events, relies on so many rules and mathematical calculation that is subject to significant challenges. Difficult to carry out on complex programs. Additional logical links will have to be introduced, and this can be manipulated, and analysis could be subjective. Okay, I won't delve into details since this method is rarely used because it's difficult to analyze. Essentially, you use multiple schedule updates to create the logic SBuild as shown in this sample. You use a multiple schedule update to create a logic SBuild. From there, you can determine the delay event and its duration. Followed by removing the delay, you extract the delay one by one, and then compare the completion date before and after the event removal for each and every model you create. Okay. Now we look at this minimum implementation protocols. It's same with MIP 3.8. The only difference is, as I highlighted in the yellow, there should be at least 2 base models, one partially progress schedule update, and the second based on the fully progress update or SBuild. Okay. Okay, next we'll be discussing the strengths and the consideration of using MIP 3.8 and 3.9 collapse SBuild. Concept can be easy to understand and present, relies upon history of actual events, can be implemented without any baseline schedule or contemporaneous schedule updates, generally require high technical skill and experience to implement. Considerations include perceived as an after-the-fact reconstruction that does not consider the schedule update used during the project. As-built critical path and schedule update prospective critical path. You may have a relation between as-built critical path and schedule update prospective critical path. This one refers to MIP 3.8. Because it doesn't use the updated program, if there's a changes of critical path, this one does not consider the changes of the critical path. Reconstructing the as-built schedule is very fact and labor intensive, susceptible to unintended manipulation due to modeling. Okay, now we finished all our methodologies. It is just an overview from the ASE recommended practice. Now maybe you will have asked this question: which method is the best? In all, okay, the OSCR protocol recommended the time impact analysis (TIA) and stated in section 4.8 that this technique is a preferred technique to resolve complex dispute related to delay and compensation for that delay. However, with the new SCR protocol, there is no longer a preferred delay analysis methodology because it will depend on the document availability and your contract. There is a lot of factors to consider. Now we are going to discuss the factors that should be considered when selecting the methodology for delay analysis. Both the SCR protocol and ASE recommended practice provide a guidance on this topic. Okay, it's based on the relevant condition of contract. Because some of the contract, they need TIA, time impact analysis. When I work in a project delivery partner, their contract mentioned any delay analysis must use a TIA. Nature of causative event. Value of the project or dispute. For the simple project, we may use a easy method. Time available. Nature, extent, and the quality of records available. Nature, extent, and quality of program available is because sometimes their program cannot be used because it's not logically built out. This is why we need to choose other method. Forum in which assessment is being made. Purpose of analysis, size of dispute, complexity of dispute, budget of the forensic schedule analysis, expertise of the analyst and resource available, legal or procedural requirement, custom and usage of the method on the project of the case. By considering all of these factors, the appropriate method of delay analysis can be selected. Now we will be discussing the requirement of delay analysis method as outlined by the Society of Construction Law, SCR protocol. So let's start with the impacted explain analysis method. This method requires a baseline program and records. Time impact analysis requires baseline program, updated programs, and good record. While the time slide window analysis requires baseline, updated program, and good record. As planned versus as built window analysis, this one MIP 3.1 and 3.2 require baseline and final as built and a good record. While the collapse as built, just now we mentioned, only need the final as built program as well as a good record. This is a requirement of delay analysis method by the ASE recommended practice. So So both MIP 3.1 and 2.2 is an as-planned as-built. So we need the baseline schedule and the as-built record to implement this method. While in MIP 3.3 is a time slide window analysis, the ACE only recommended to use schedule updates. MIP 3.4 is a bifurcated time slide window analysis, and MIP 3.5 is a recreated time slide window analysis. That's why they need as-built record. So MIP 3.6 is an impacted as-planned, need baseline schedule. Same with SCR protocol, impacted as-planned, baseline schedule. MIP 3.7 is a TIA, time impact analysis, so require baseline and schedule updates. Okay, same with what required in the SCR protocol, baseline and update program. Okay, MIP 3.8 collapse as-built single base. You only require the as-built records. The last one, MIP 3.9 is a collapse as-built multiple base. So you need schedule updates and as-built records. Okay, both the SCR and the ASCE recommended practice recommend that the choice of method for delay analysis should be based on the nature, extent, and quality of the records and the program information available. Careful consideration needs to be given to the contemporaneous records, including but not limited to programs, progress reports, minutes of meeting, certificates, site diaries, timesheets, labor, material, and equipment allocation sheets, all the material delivery records, photo and videos, test records, correspondence, contract and tender documents. Okay, to win, if you want to prevail in the EOT claim, the record is we need to keep a record, proper record for all the information that require. Okay, now we come to the conclusion. Thank you all for attending my webinar on forensic or the delay schedule analysis. Allow me to end my conclusion in a humorous way. Forensic schedule analysis, because sometimes you need a detective, a mathematician, an artist, a planner, and a time traveler all in one. So as you have learned, forensic schedule analysis is an essential tool for identifying and resolving the project delays. It requires the skill of a detective to investigate, to uncover the hidden details, and then the precision of a mathematician to analyze, an artist to visualize the schedule, a planner, a planning engineer to understand the programming software as well as a construction sequence of works, and the ability to anticipate a potential issue like the time traveler. So thank you again for joining me today, and I hope you found this webinar informative and enjoyable. I think now I pass to Engineer Tang for any Q&A, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Engineer Thomas, for your great talk and detailed explanation of what is construction delay analysis. So now we will go to the Q&A session. So participants, you can put in your questions in the message box. So I will read through what is your questions to our speaker. So I go to the first questions. So I think a lot of the participants, they were asking for the presentation slide. So presentation slide will be shared by our IT division during the Q&A section now. So you may download the presentation slide. So we go to the next question. Between Primavera and Microsoft project, which project software is more user-friendly for delay analysis?
Okay, in my opinion, Microsoft project is suitable for impacted explain, MIP 3.6, MIP 3.6, impacted explain analysis. On the other hand, the Primavera is more suitable for various type of analysis, including those that require the contemporaneous updates, such as time slide window analysis, MIP 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, and time impact analysis MIP 3.7. Personally, I prefer using Primavera P6 because Microsoft project is, in my opinion, is not well suited for accurately determining the impact when there is a updated schedules. It's because based on my opinion, the remaining duration of in-progress activities may not be accurately reflected in the Primavera in the Microsoft project updated schedule. There will be some deviation, so I prefer to use Primavera. But if you use for impacted explain, like poor baseline, you impact your delay event into your baseline, Microsoft project is very user friendly. But if you involve like time impact analysis or time slide window analysis, you involve your updated program, I prefer to use Primavera. Okay.
Okay, so we go to the next questions. Delay analysis relies heavily on its baseline. How does construction variance order affect the whole analysis during dispute?
Okay. Okay. There are two ways to analyze the delay impact of a violation order VO works. First, you can utilize the observational method. You wait until the delay event is complete, and you observe how the VO works affect the existing activities. The other method, you can use a modeling method where you incorporate the delay period of the VO works into the existing baseline schedule, or you use an updated program. You insert the VO work duration and you link it to the impacted activities to determine the impact on the program. So either way, you can use an observational method or modeling method. But if the project is still ongoing, my recommendation is use modeling method, because you cannot wait for until the delay event complete. Because some of the contract condition or contract which I encounter, they said that within 3 days you need to submit your notice of delay, and then 5 days after the notice of delay, you need to submit the full and detailed particular, including your delay analysis. So you cannot wait for the delay event finish. You only can use a modeling method for the delay analysis. Okay, that's all.
Okay, so we go to the next question. You mentioned that the new SCR protocol does not have a preferred delay analysis methodology. From your perspective, which method do you find both preferable and accurate?
Okay. Okay, the choice of delay analysis methodology depends on factors such as like document availability, the records, and the relevant condition or contracts, as discussed earlier. However, if all the necessary documents are available, my personal preference are time slide window analysis, MIP 3.3, and time impact analysis, MIP 3.6. It's because this method use contemporaneous updates, which means this method taking into account the actual progress on site and the changes on the critical path. So it's more accurate. The analysis will be more accurate. And then furthermore, this method are generally accepted by the tribunal in any form of dispute resolution. Okay.
Okay. So next questions. What is the difference of ACPE retrospective TIA time impact analysis with the SEL protocol prospective TIA?
Okay, retrospective TIA as defined by ACPE is performed after the delay event has occurred. It's used for forensic analysis where the delay has all been absorbed. So the delay, this analysis is typically used to evaluate the cause and effect of delays that have already happened. The event already ceased to take their effect. On the other hand, the SEL protocol prospective TIA focus on assessing the potential impact of the future events. Okay, in summary, retrospective TIA look at the past delays, and their impact. What the prospective, the SEL protocol recommended, prospective TIA focus on anticipate the potential future delay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Next question. What is considered a simple and complicated project?
Oh, simple project. For my experience, simple project, the activities may be just few hundred activities, while the complicated projects, the activity in the program may have like 10,000, 20,000, or 30,000 activities, and the cost of the project definitely is like more than 500 million or in billions. While the simple project, mostly the project cost like below 100 million, something like that, or 50 million, something like that.
Okay. So now we go to the next question. Is there any contract which are more suitable for certain method? For example, JKR contract is more suitable for method 3.6. FIDIC contract is more suitable from method 3.7.
Can you repeat your question again?
Okay. Is there any contract which are more suitable for certain method? For example, JKR contract is more suitable from method 3.6. FIDIC contract is more suitable for method 3.7.
Unless there's a customized contract that requires a certain methods, otherwise, I don't think in PEM or JKR there's specific any methods. Unless there's a customized contract, the particular one TIA. But in the standard form of contract, I don't think they specify the specific methods.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Anyone still have any questions? You can post in the chat there. If not, we're going to end our talk today. Anyone else? Okay. If not, then our talk is going to the end. If anyone still has any query after the talk, you may reach to Engineer Thomas through his email address or phone in the front page of the slide. Thanks again to our speaker, Engineer Thomas, and thank you all for joining the talk today. Thank you and happy weekend.
Okay, thank you.